But in today's video, we got a lot of things to talk about. We got some big transfers we made towards savings, some Roth IRA investment transfers, and we got to tell people how taxes went. And you're blocking the camera. I know, you want your treat. All right, go on. I'll talk about the taxes. You don't want to do that. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Michael, and on this channel, you guys get to watch me set up financial habits that will hopefully propel me to a net worth of $1 million. And in today's Transfer Tuesday style video, I'm going to be going over how much money I was able to transfer from my local bank account to both my savings accounts and also my Roth IRA investment accounts. I'm going to be holding off on my regular taxable brokerage accounts, at least for this video, and you'll find out a little bit later as to why. All right, so in this Transfer Tuesday, we're going to start off looking at my savings account because this is where I guess the most action occurred this week. And I was able to transfer a total amount of $750 towards my Ally Savings Bank online high interest earning account. And I was able to transfer that amount of money because I didn't make any transfers last week. $750 is not my typical weekly transfer, but because I didn't make a transfer last week, I just kind of added a little bit to this week. And to give you a breakdown of where that money went, $600 went towards the vehicle fund, $50 went towards the vacation fund, $50 went towards the Christmas fund, and $50 went to, I believe I still call it the rental investment fund. And that's kind of just on hold for right now. There's something I want to do with our garage, but I'll talk about that in a different video. So a total amount of $750 was sent to my savings account this week. And to give you guys an update on that vehicle fund, because that's kind of the biggest thing I'm saving for right now. That's the most, I guess, pressing matter of financial thing I'm working towards. Bringing the total savings for the new vehicle, which is yet to be purchased and yet to be looked at, $10,176.85. So I got a little bit more savings to do, obviously. That's going to be the main target over the next at least 2 months, hopefully, 2 months. So I really want to get that number up and save aggressively. All right, so now let's move on to the investment side of today's Transfer Tuesday. And there's nothing too crazy and too out of the ordinary to share here. Right down to business, I was able to transfer $250 to my Roth IRA with M1 Finance. And I was actually looking, in case some of you were wondering, I was looking at my account and it's dropped in like the last week by almost $1,000, the value of it. So in one sense, somebody might look at that and say, oh, that's bad. Your account's dropping by $1,000 in a week. However, that means that this $250 that I'm sending to the account, which will then purchase the ETFs tomorrow morning, that means that $250 is actually going to go a longer way with buying the ETFs because their value has gone down, meaning that the money I put in will kind of purchase more. So you can look at it two different ways. You can look at it, oh, it's gone down, that's not good. Well, I'm not really trying to sell those ETFs and sell off this account yet. So really that's a good thing for me. It means my money that I put in right now is actually going to purchase more of what I want it to. So it kind of works out in my favor. I know some people aren't in that position that I'm in, so things do not work out that way for them. But with the position I'm in right now with my Roth IRA, it actually helps my money go a little bit farther than it normally would when it dips. The other thing I wanted to address while we're on the topic of investing is because a couple weeks ago I shared with you guys that I got my regular taxable brokerage account back up and running and I was able to take a look at it, and I mentioned that my portfolio had actually gained value based on what the market had been doing. Well, I did mention at that video that I'll be taking a little bit more interest in doing a little bit more research to figure out how I can start contributing to that account again. However, at this point in time, I'm going to be shifting my financial not mindset, but my financial focus to saving for the vehicle. That's going to be the kind of thing I'm targeting more in the next 2 months because I want to get that out of the way with. and get that over with. One of the big, not really setbacks that I had this past week, I mentioned it in my last video that I posted, that it was tax season. So I finished up my taxes, and I mentioned in the video that obviously I was going to have to owe, and I owed about $3,000 after, like, combined with both federal and state taxes. Now, the reason I end up owing is because of my per diem work. The taxes are not taken out of that pay, and so it's kind of up to me then to keep track of how much I'm going to have to owe. And after putting in all the deductions, all the expenses that I can possibly put in, it was around $3,000 that I would have to then shell out from my savings to cover that amount. And I was able to do that with my regular savings checking account at my local bank. So it wasn't too bad. But obviously that's kind of a big expense that I wasn't really planning for. I should have been. I'm not saying that's the right thing that I wasn't planning for. I should have been. Every time I get a paycheck from my per diem work, take out some money, put it into my Ally Savings Bank, which gains interest, and then use that when tax season comes to help pay off those taxes. So in the future, that's something I'm definitely going to have to look into and start doing, either paying quarterly or putting aside money in a high interest earning account like I already do, and using the money from that to pay off my taxes when they become due, usually around this time of year. So that's going to kind of wrap up the financial update for this week with my Transfer Tuesday. One thing you might see, I don't know if it's going to be next week or in a couple weeks, I'm going to have to change location. I'm moving out of this room. We're going to be doing some stuff with this room, and I'm going to be back up in my old studio room, which was on our 3rd floor. So if I'm sweating in the next few videos, that's why. And I got to figure out how to transport all my music stuff. I got a cello and guitars, and I got my wife gave these to me for my Christmas present, my Baron and Luthien posters back there. I don't know if you guys can see them in the video, but if any of you have seen like this woman on the poster and you're like, what in the world does he have behind you? It's Baron and Luthien. If you know what that is, comment below and I'll give you a big heart in the comment when I respond. So Baron and Luthien are back there. I also got Chewbacca and Boba Fett on some other pictures up here and down here. Chewbacca fell. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video, for listening to me ramble on. I know I'm not the best presenter when it comes to YouTube and talking about my finances, but I try to give you guys a clear picture of what's going on. I mention every week that my goal is to get my net worth to be valued at least $1 million. And these are the small steps I'm taking to get myself there. Anyway, thank you guys so much. I hope I inspire you on your financial journey. Leave a comment down below mentioning how it's going if you would like, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.